Hitvi from Group 7, and in this video, we're going to demo Lab 6 that we did, and I'll walk you through how we use Camunda to orchestrate a process that fetches lead information from a mock API that we built in Postman in Lab 4, and then how it publishes it to Kafka using the REST connectors. And I'll also show where we got each configuration from and how they connect across tools like Camunda, Postman, and Confluent Kafka. So let's start with the BPMN diagram that I created here using the Camunda modeler. This is a pretty simple flow, I'd say. Yeah, so it basically just starts with the trigger event and then goes to service task called the request new CRM lead, and followed by another service task called the send lead, which sends it to Kafka and where it finally ends. And we've used the, as you can see, we've used the REST connectors over here. So let's see. Let's go dive deeper into it and see what's happening in these blocks. So I'll start with the first block here, that is the request new CRM lead. So this is where we configure Camunda to make a HTTP GET request to Postman mock server that stimulates our CRM system. So if we see the configurations right here, in the authentication, we have none as we don't really need any authentication for this. And we have used the HTTP GET endpoint over here, and this URL that we've used here is the Postman mock endpoint that we've created that I'm going to show you after this. And for the headers, we have the content type as application JSON. And we've also used a result variable over here called lead that's going to store the information that we're going to receive on posting this get request. All right, so let's take a look at the Postman for where we got this information for. So this is the mock API that we created, the API endpoint that we created, and use this link. And so this is how this is where it creates the random information that like first name, last name, email each time we call this. So let's see how this works. So if I go here and do it for any random, sorry, any any random account ID, it's gonna give me random names. Like every time it's gonna give me different information. And this is the information that will be received on Camunda get block. All right, so coming back to the second block, which is the send lead to Kafka. This is where we publish the lead information into Kafka topic via a REST API. So inside this block, I'm using a basic authentication where I've used my API key and the API secret key that I've generated on the Confluent Cloud. And here I've used again the HTTP endpoint with the post request this time. And this is the endpoint that we got from the Confluent Cloud again, from the cluster. And this is the topic that is going to receive this. And this is basically the cluster ID. And and this is the REST endpoint. So that's what this is. And I'll also show you where I got this from. And again, in the header, we have application type as JSON. And here I've used the field expression mode for this body, for the response body, by clicking just this icon right here. And I've used this format. So remember the lead variable that we stored. So here it's basically extracting from the body of lead the ID to store in the key, and in the lead body is stored in the value that we're gonna see in a while. And that's it for the configurations for this toast block. So let's see where I got this from. So here, if I see the cluster, here's the cluster ID. Here's the REST endpoint that I use. This is a cluster name. And if I see the API keys, this is the API key that I generated. And while I generated it, I also got the secret key right here. And yeah, and this is the topic that we're gonna use, CRM leads dot created, that's gonna receive it. So just give it a moment and we'll see what loads up. And then we're gonna finally see all the finally see how it all works together. So these are just a few tests we did, which have some error, but yeah, we got it working at the end. All right, so let's deploy and run the diagram now. So I'm just going to continue from here and start a new instance. So it says instance started, and great. So this is the lead variable that it received, and in the body, as you can see, I cannot expand this, but as in the body, we can say this information that it received. So let's check if this was correctly recorded in the Confluent Cloud right here. So yeah, so if I see this, it has correctly recorded the information that we passed. So, and in the key, we can see the ID has been received as well as it was supposed to be sent. So yeah, this is how it works, and thank you so much for watching.